Hey guys, welcome to Play Infinite. On July 8th, 2014, Sony officially announced a new smartphone. It's actually, Sony's putting it as the world's best smartphone for shooting selfies, and it's called the Xperia C3. So the Sony Xperia C3, and as you can tell by the images and just in general by the specs that I'm going to be covering, there's a lot of focus and a lot of technology that goes into the front-facing camera, and that's the whole point of this smartphone, for taking selfies, for making use of their camera technology. They're just leveraging camera technology and bringing it over to the front this time around, which is something that not a lot of companies have done lately, and Sony is definitely looking to take the lead in terms of front-facing camera support. So Sony's calling it the Pro Selfie Cam, and it's basically a 5 megapixel front-facing camera. It's actually a wide-angle camera, and what's really interesting is that Sony has put an LED flash over at the front, which as far as I know, not a lot of smartphones or no smartphones have right now. So an LED flash over at the front is definitely going to be interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see how the cameras actually, or the pictures actually come out. But the camera does also offer HDR and burst mode. So the burst mode specifically, it lets you snap up to 31 pictures in 2 seconds, and then you can go ahead and pick which one that you like, or you can just decide to keep all the photos. So some very nice, interesting software features along with the hardware to support your selfies or whatever pictures you want to take. Sony's also adding more software features in terms of Vine support. So you get direct access to Vine, and also a very easy to use panorama mode, along with some other editing effects for the front facing camera. Over at the back, there's an 8 megapixel camera, but besides that, besides the front facing camera, the smartphone is for the most part just a mid-range smartphone. It's maybe mid to high end, a very mediocre display. But it does have a nice processor. So an 8 megapixel rear facing camera, 1.2 gigahertz Snapdragon processor. We're actually not exactly sure what variant it is. 1 gigabyte of RAM is going to be there, so that should be plenty of RAM. 8 gigabytes of storage, but you can support it, increase it if you do want. And in terms of the display, it's a 5.5 inch display. Resolution is a 720, so 1280 by 720. Not the best resolution display, and not the best display in general on the market. So that's where the downfalls of this device comes into play. Also, you'll be getting a 2500 mAh battery, and the smartphone does support 4G LTE. So if you decide to use LTE, that battery you get will get chunked down pretty fast, especially if you're taking a lot of photos with the front-facing camera. Sony also announced that it's going to be running Android 4.4. It is a slightly modified version of Android 4.4, however, and you can definitely tell from the images how the software UI is going to look very similar to previous Xperia smartphones. So not a lot of new things in terms of the UI design there. Something interesting is that Sony is adding support for dual SIM, so you can insert multiple SIM cards, or 2 SIM cards, up to 2 SIM cards if you do want for the device, and it'll be getting a global launch in August of 2014. So next month is when you can expect the Xperia C3 to officially be released. It'll be releasing in black, white, and mint color variants, according to Sony, and China will actually get its first look at the device. We're not too sure when, but it's probably going to be before the global rollout for it. Sony hasn't announced anything specifically about specific release dates or even cost information, pricing, other than promising a mid-range price, which is basically what this smartphone is. It's a mid-range smartphone with a really nice front-facing camera technology in there. So let me know what you think about this smartphone. Is it actually worth a mid-range price point? Let me know what you think. Also, I want to just quickly mention that the design is very similar to previous Xperia smartphones. Follows the same design languages, nothing really fancy and nothing new special here, but the design is really good. So there's nothing wrong with the design per se. It's just not something completely new. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching, and let me know what you think about this smartphone. I think it's a really nice smartphone, and it'll definitely do well in some markets, but I think it's a niche product, and it'll appeal to certain people only. So let me know what you think, and I'll see you in my next video.